So right about now, the ooni is actually beginning to stand for the truth. The ooni is actually beginning to stand for what is right and what is actually supposed to be the right thing to be done in the palace. Now, Ashley actually brought the narrative of her own child being a blue blood and Naomi's son not being a blue blood, which has actually caused a lot of hiccups and challenges in the royal family. The Ooni has actually given a very stern warning that a child is a child and he does not want to hear anybody call blue blood or no blue blood in the family. As far as people says that he is the father of those children, every of his child, especially the male ones, are all blue blood, and they need to give them, accord all of them the same respect and the same consideration fit for the king and queen. Now, know that for a long time now, Ashley has actually been poised with the issue of going for DNA, which has actually escalated a whole lot of times. There have been some certain incidences that Ooni is actually not the biological father of Ashley's son. But Ashley, on the other hand, is still insisting that the Ooni is the father. But the Ooni, on the other hand, has actually not come up openly to say he wants a DNA. It is actually other people who have been insinuating that the Ooni should go for a DNA. But do not also forget that for Ooni to even accept the issue of DNA, it's already a turn off. Yes, it's a turn off for the Ooni to accept anything DNA, because once he now begins to want to accept the word DNA, it actually logically means that somehow that the wife has been messing around, or the wife has actually had carnal knowledge of someone else. So the Ooni does not, as a matter of fact, wants to take into cognizance anything called DNA. Rather, he wants to have the belief and the conception that Ashley's child is actually his. Now, a lot of things have actually emanated over the past few days. Since when Naomi gave birth to Prince Tade, there has never been any issue of DNA or no DNA. It has actually been, he's my son, he's my son. Even when the mother was no more in the palace, the king makes sure that from time to time, Naomi brings the young man to the palace to actually mingle with other children. But in the case of Ashley, there has been a very serious tussle for who is the biological son, father of Ashley's child. Now, with Ashley not really having a thorough understanding of what she has done to herself, she's actually beginning to make a whole lot of mistakes. Yes, the mistakes that she is making are so stiff that no one can even comprehend, or no one can even understand why, a matter of fact, she escalated the matter to this level. Now the level of escalation has actually degenerated into what has now caused Ashley to now begin to look at Tade as not being a blue blood. But the Oni, on the other hand, has actually told them that nobody, yes, nobody has the monopoly, or nobody has the right to look at anybody and say that this person is a blue blood. When you refer somebody as not being a blue blood, it's only someone who is not by any way or any chance related to the Oni. The Oni himself never ever argued that the children are not his. He has never argued that before. It is all only has been insinuations from other people who feel that that Ashley needs to go for a DNA. And before people begin to ask you to go for a DNA, it just means that there's something you have been doing that is actually not right. Yes. Before anybody wants you to go for a DNA in any way, there's something you are doing as a person that is not right. And if you do not logically change your perception about life and about things, then you're bound to run into a whole lot of problems, because you open up opportunities for people to talk to you anyhow, for people to misadvise you, for people to feel that you have not been living a very virtuous and good life. Now, for instance, if you look at it very well, you find out that over the years, even when the ooni is very, very old, his women, even when the ooni is late, before the women can actually remarry, a tradition, there is a tradition that has to be performed. If that tradition is not performed, the wife of the late ooni cannot even have any conversation with another man at all. That has been tradition, and it has been like that over the years. But right now, things are actually beginning to change. Yes, things are beginning to change in such a way that people no longer see the fright in the capacity of the ooni. The ooni, as a matter of fact, is God's representation here on earth. So if God is being represented here on earth as the ooni, who is the physical God that we see, then the wife should also be able to accord him that responsibility. The responsibility that he carries is so powerful and so strong that people just need to have a thorough mindset, a thorough understanding, a thorough feeling of what it actually means for you to be called Oni's wife. So if you call yourself Oni's wife and you still involve yourself in some extramarital activity, then you are actually be digging a very, very deep grave for yourself. Because if for any reason investigation is being carried out and it is found that um, Ashley is guilty of extramarital affairs, the kind of ill luck that it will bring to Ashley and the family is such that no one has ever seen before. So Ashley needs to be very, extremely very careful, because for a very long time people have been insinuating, there have been insinuations that there needs to run a DNA in the palace. So if this DNA matter now surfaces and for any reason it becomes a fact, then I think the palace is actually not going to remain the same again, as people will begin to have different misconceptions and different misunderstandings of how things are being done. All right, my people, this is, click on the notification button, comment, like, and share this video. Thank you.